Good morning. Sheila, the PA doll lady, and I just want to give myself and all women in their late 40s a gentle reminder that we need to be gentle with ourselves, right? We are in that stage of life where we are still either working full time, we're not old enough to retire, but we are old enough to be fed up with everybody's crap, to be honest. And but we're not yet at that stage where we can retire and just not have to continue to deal with um, everybody's stuff. For me, I am building a business, and this year I was challenged to go big by my coach. And I was thinking that this year might be my lackadaisical, take it a little soft, a little slower. I've been building for the past 4 years, and I've been, rolling this snowball into like bigger snowball and bigger snowball. So this year was a great challenge in the business, and I met it. And I was thinking, okay, I'm about to become a grandmom, and I think I want to slow down the business and focus on being a grandmom. And then it occurred to I've had about 4, 5, or 6 days to kind of think about this situation where when we are younger, we are, I hear, not me, because I did life the opposite way of most people. I had my baby as soon as I was a babe. I was a child and then I was a mom, period. I never had time to reflect on, am I ready to become a mom? How does one become a mom? And I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and it was a very enlightening conversation in that we were discussing the stage of life that we're in right now. She works full time and is, given twice the work for the same pay. And I am building something that feels like it's twice my capability, but does not have a cap and pay. My cap and pay will be whatever I make it. And it just got me to think and reflect on the many episodes, because life almost feels like episodes, right? Like when we are debating as to starting a family, you don't know if you can afford to have a family. And then you have a family, and then you're running for your life and just trying to make sure that your children are at the forefront of everything that you're doing, and just trying to make sure that they survive and that they thrive and this, that, and the other. And then we are in this episode or this chapter where it's like we're not old enough to retire, and we still have our parents that we are working with, and then we are dealing with our grown children and trying to navigate how that relationship goes from, like, you're the parent and they do what you say, to like a more negotiable type of relationship, but also you're dealing with your parents and the way that they are set in stone and they handle things. So I guess they call us the sandwich generation. And I got to thinking yesterday after our conversation, because I have decided that for this year, I am going to go big. I am going to take my coach up on it. I am going to go bigger than I was last year. But also, I need to get back to the fundamentals. And the fundamentals for me is I need to get back to bed at 9 and waking up at 5, because I'm a productive person in the morning. And I have zero business being up till 12 o'clock and just finagling and pretending like I'm being productive when I'm absolutely not. My brain shuts down and I'm not working. I'm just, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just pretending, I guess, at that point. Um, but in order to go big, I need to get back to the basics. And back to the basics means bed by 9, up by 5. And I've done that. I've done that for the past 3 days. I went to bed at my bedtime and I woke up at 5, and I roll out of the bed and I roll right into my sneakers and out the door. Before my brain gets to wake up, I am out the door for my walk, because for whatever reason, we decide that everybody else is a priority and our mental health is not. Hence the reason we are in such a big fog that we cannot make heads or tails out of it. Some days I'm bawling my eyeballs out because I can't remember my password that I use every single day. And what I'm starting to notice in getting back to the basics is that if I just take the time to take care of me first for a half hour, for 1 hour, I'm able to move forward with everybody else's demands. But first, me. First, I have to take care of me, and then I can take care of everybody else. Because it's amazing how much a mom is undervalued. But when a mom starts to falter, right? Because that's what it feels like at this point. It feels like we are either giving up our mobility or giving up our brain power. And like we're still young enough that we're aching in some spots and that kind of thing, but we're still mobile. But our brains starting to fog freaks us out. It freaks me out for sure. I'm not a person that needs to be beautiful on the outside, makeup and this, that, and the other. But if my brain starts to falter a little bit, I do start to freak out. And then obviously you start to like get that anxiety, like, oh my God, am I going crazy? Am I missing something? What's going on here? So if you had to give up your mobility or your mental space, which one would you choose and why? And that's something that I was thinking about last night as I was having this conversation with this person has been a best friend of mine for years and years and years. We always joke about being friends for 10 years, but our kids were babies when we met. And our kids are in their 20s, late 20s to be. So we are growing older together. And even though we in our own heads think that we are losing it, I think what life is trying to teach us at this moment is to ask for help. Honestly, to ask for help. I think that many times our significant others are very comfortable in dropping that paycheck on the table and saying, here, you handle it. And at this moment in our life, we're not going to do that no more. We're not going to handle it no more. Or you might come home and there's no electricity because we forgot to pay it. Because not only is the electric going off, our brains are going off at this point. And we need breaks and we need friendship to keep us moving forward and to let us know that it's not just us, and everybody else around us needs to step up. That's what I'm saying. Everybody around us needs to step up. Plain and simple. We can still work. We can still handle most of the things. But on those days where the brain fog is just extreme, and if you decided not to check on the electric bill, I guess we'll just all sit in the dark. And it is what it is. So we're asking for your help. We're asking for your contribution. We were able to handle everything on our backs. And now, some days we think we can, and some days we're like, screw this. If the water shuts off, oh well. So I'm just saying, check on your strong women friends who are in their late 40s, because I think some days we are just over it and we don't care anymore. I love this one lady who created the We Don't Care Anymore Club, Melanie. Dead on girlfriend. Absolutely. That's exactly what it feels like. Some days I can run $1 million business and hold a family and hold everything else together. And other days, I don't know how to tie my shoes. And as a matter of fact, I'm just not going to wear any shoes, period. So what is it? What are we talking about? We don't even know. We don't even know what we're talking about. We'll just cry about it, if anything. But I'm just saying, reach out to your friends that are also in their late 40s and make sure that we could just laugh about this because this crap sucks. But like everything else, we'll figure it out one day at a time. Have a good day.